Bury this with cardboard, the secret soil trick gardeners were never told, by SoilSage Chronicles. If you've ever watered faithfully, fed your plants the best organic fertilizer, pruned with care and still ended up with shallow roots and lackluster growth, you're not alone. I've been there too, scratching my head over why my plants seemed healthy on the surface but never truly thrived. It turns out, the problem wasn't what I was doing above the soil, it was what was happening beneath it. In today's SoilSage Chronicles, we're digging deep, literally, into a simple science-backed method that transformed my garden from tired and compacted to rich, living, and just bursting with growth. All it took was a few sheets of plain cardboard, a sprinkle of biochar, and a handful of cornmeal. 3 humble materials, yet together, they create a powerhouse system that strengthens your soil, boosts microbial life, and helps your roots grow deeper than ever before. Most gardeners focus on what we can see, lush leaves, colorful blooms, and juicy fruits, but honestly, the real story of plant health begins where we rarely look underground. If your soil is dense, compacted, or poorly aerated, your plants are essentially trying to grow in a brick. The roots just can't push deeper, which limits their access to nutrients and moisture. Shallow roots make plants fragile, they dry out faster, need more watering, and honestly, are more susceptible to disease. When I first started SoilSage Chronicles, my beds looked fine at first glance, but when I dug deeper, I found hardpan layers that roots could barely penetrate. No matter how much compost I added, it only improved the top few inches. I realized that if I wanted truly resilient plants, I had to fix the structure of my soil, not just feed it. That's when I discovered the secret synergy between cardboard, biochar, and cornmeal. A trio that doesn't just feed your plants, but actually rebuilds your soil from the ground up. Most gardeners know cardboard as a weed barrier, but when used the right way, it becomes much more than that. It's the foundation for living soil. Plain corrugated cardboard is rich in carbon and, it actually breaks down pretty slowly. As it decomposes, it provides a steady food source for soil organisms, especially earthworms. These natural tillers chew through the cardboard, leaving behind tunnels that really help improve aeration and water infiltration. Over time, the cardboard itself turns into humus, a dark, crumbly form of organic matter that holds onto nutrients just like a sponge. Here's how I use it in my beds. I start by laying soaked, uncoated brown cardboard sheets directly on the soil surface. I make sure to overlap the edges by about 6 inches so no light reaches the weeds below. Then, I saturate the cardboard with a gallon of water per square yard. This step is crucial because dry cardboard can actually repel moisture at first. Once it's soft and pliable, it becomes a perfect substrate for soil life to colonize. But, cardboard alone isn't enough. It needs partners to bring the system to life. And that's where biochar and cornmeal come in. Biochar, the black gold of soil health. The first secret ingredient in this trio is biochar, a soil amendment that looks like charcoal but, honestly, behaves completely differently. Biochar is made by heating organic material, like wood or crop residues, in a low-oxygen environment, a process called pyrolysis. The result is this lightweight, porous carbon structure that's filled with millions of tiny cavities. So, think of it as creating apartment buildings for microbes, each pore a home for beneficial bacteria and fungi that drive soil fertility. What makes biochar truly special is, honestly, its longevity. While compost decomposes within a season or two, biochar can remain active in the soil for decades. It doesn't just improve structure, it stores nutrients and water, making them available to plants when they need them most. But there's a catch. Fresh biochar is empty. If you add it straight to the soil, it can temporarily tie up nutrients as it absorbs them. That's why it needs to be charged or inoculated before use. You can soak it in compost tea, manure slurry, or worm casting extract. My favorite way? Mix it directly with the next ingredient, cornmeal. Cornmeal, the microbial feast that brings soil to life. At first, I couldn't believe cornmeal could make such a difference. It sounded almost too simple, but horticultural cornmeal is pure gold for feeding soil microbes, the unsung heroes that convert organic matter into plant-available nutrients. Cornmeal is rich in carbohydrates, which act as a quick energy source for beneficial fungi and bacteria. These microbes, in turn, form symbiotic relationships with your plant roots. They help dissolve minerals, fix nitrogen, and suppress harmful pathogens. In fact, studies have shown that cornmeal can reduce certain fungal diseases naturally by promoting populations of trichoderma, a beneficial fungus that outcompetes harmful ones. It's like giving your soil an immune system boost. When mixed with biochar, the cornmeal seeps into its pores, charging it with microbial food. This turns the biochar from an inert sponge into a living nutrient bank ready to support your plants. How to combine the three for maximum root growth. Here's the method I use, tested and perfected through countless garden experiments. After soaking your cardboard and laying it down, create planting pockets wherever you want to place your transplants or seeds. Into each pocket, add about 1 cup of your biochar cornmeal mixture. A 4-to-1 ratio works well. If you're working in existing beds, sprinkle this mixture around the base of your plants and gently work it into the top few inches of soil. Over time, the cardboard decomposes beneath, biochar stabilizes the structure, and cornmeal fuels the microbial engine that keeps the whole system running. You'll start noticing changes within just a few weeks. The soil will hold moisture longer, your plants will stand taller through heat waves, and most impressively, the roots will begin to dive deeper. When I first tried this method, I pulled up a tomato plant at the end of the season and found roots twice as deep as in untreated soil. The difference was, honestly, just stunning. So, what's happening beneath the surface is really a masterclass in natural engineering. As the cardboard breaks down, it creates these tiny channels that allow air and water to move freely. The biochar fills those voids, acting as a reservoir that traps nutrients and moisture. And the cornmeal, meanwhile, keeps feeding the microbial population that turns organic matter into plant food. Together, these three components create a living, breathing soil system. It's self-sustaining, drought-resistant, and rich in biodiversity. Deep roots mean more resilient plants, ones that can handle dry spells, nutrient fluctuations, and temperature extremes. This method doesn't just improve plant health for one season, it sets the stage for long-term soil regeneration. Each year, as the cardboard decomposes and the biochar continues to work, your soil gets looser, darker, and more fertile. The first time I saw this method in action, I was honestly a bit skeptical, but within just a few months the results were, totally undeniable. My peppers and tomatoes, which usually wilted under Kenya's midday sun, they actually stayed upright and vibrant. And those hydrangeas that once struggled, they bloomed richer and fuller than ever before. When I dug into the soil, it felt completely different, crumbly, cool, and teeming with earthworms. I realized then that I wasn't just growing plants anymore, I was growing soil. And that's the real secret of great gardening. Healthy soil doesn't come from quick fixes or constant fertilizing. It comes from creating balance and letting nature do what it does best. This method is more than a one-time trick, it's a long-term investment in your garden's future. Once established, the system practically maintains itself. The cardboard decomposes into humus, the biochar continues to store nutrients, and the cornmeal keeps feeding new generations of microbes. You'll find that your watering needs decrease, your fertilizer use drops, and your plants grow stronger each season. It's a sustainable loop of life that turns even tired, compacted ground into living, thriving soil. If your plants have been struggling despite your best efforts, it's time to look deeper, literally. Try the cardboard plus biochar plus cornmeal method in a small section of your garden this season. Observe the difference, and once you see the transformation, expand it across your beds. Gardening isn't just about growing plants, it's about cultivating the invisible life beneath them. When you nurture the soil, everything else falls into place. If you found this guide helpful, don't forget to subscribe to SoilSage Chronicles on YouTube for more hands-on, science-backed gardening wisdom. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode, and share this article with a fellow gardener who's ready to dig deeper, literally and figuratively. Remember, true gardening success starts beneath the surface. Keep digging, keep learning, and keep growing with SoilSage Chronicles.